After some heroics this morning, qualifying appeared to be a little bit more difficult. Why was that?
Tricky to say. I think maybe some people aren't showing everything in FP3. That could be a first one, and also just went away from us a little bit in qualifying. The wind picked up. It's been, I wouldn't say fortunate, but it's been low all weekend, and actually qualifying, suddenly it's come up, and it came up. It was ramping up through qualifying itself, which you could see had an off in turn 8, and that was the wind, and from that point on it just got trickier and trickier for us. So it's one of them things. We know it most probably favours other people more when they have a windier, or let's say penalises them less when they have a windier, when it's windier outside.
So hoping for a still calm Sunday.
That would be perfect, but it will be fingers crossed for no wind.
There's lots of heat.
Less heat as well. Everything, yeah.
Valtteri, after what looked like a difficult weekend, started to turn it on for qualifying. Are you disappointed not to be in Q3 today?
Yeah, for sure wanted to be in Q3. So just missing a couple of tenths. I mean, laps were good, so I'm quite happy from my side. But yeah, we're just missing a bit of pace, especially on a single lap.
Moving from single lap to race, though, do you think you've got a decent car under you? Can you make the positions up and fight for the points?
It's normally been the case, and normally we make progress in the race rather than fall back. So and also with the penalties, I think I'm starting 11th. So I mean, just need to try and gain a few places.
Mick, final lap time good enough to take you out of Q1, but ultimately stewards decided you cut the corner. Do you think that was fair?
Well, I would counter that question with, was it fine that Checo lost his lap in Red Bull Ring? The question is, I think most drivers would say no. In that case, at the end, there's also a rule. The rule is there for everybody, and unfortunately, I exceeded it. But it's definitely something that we'll have to talk about to see if we can maybe find a more, maybe a less complicated way, maybe something which gives a bit more room. So if there's a bollard, if the bollard flies away, for example, that's a track limit infringement, but in that case the bollard was still there.
We haven't seen any track limits violations in any of the practice sessions, and if they happen, they haven't been flagged. Do you find it strange that they're only being flagged now in qualifying? Would it have helped to have had it earlier?
I think it would be good to know in free practice, and nobody told me. I was doing the exact same line all of free practice 1, 2 and 3, and the fact that then because of that my lap's deleted in qualifying, maybe it would be just good to have a heads up, say, look, that won't be allowed in qualifying, and then it's good, then you know what you're allowed to do and what not. In my case, I was really quite confident that it would be okay to do what I did.
Was it discussed at all in driver's briefing between you guys and the race directors that it wouldn't be looked at in practice but would be looked at in qualifying, or as you say, was this just a complete surprise?
Well, not that I heard. Maybe I missed it.
We didn't think we were going to see you in Q2, but I'm very glad we did. That looked like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was. I mean, pace was really nice in the car, and the plan was to go out and help Mick with the tow, but then because he didn't get through to Q2, but we had already planned to go out. We went out, and even though it was no point, it was just kind of fun anyway with a fast car. So starting last tomorrow, but hopefully the car is good again in the race, and then we can progress.
I mean, if it goes like it did today, then you're going to be a rocket ship tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, the long runs didn't look too good, but at least, we have a strong car in one lap, so maybe sometimes you can make it work in the race too, and I'm certainly looking forward to it.
The slimmest of margins, man. How good did the car feel out there with the upgrades and everything else? Because it was so close to Q3.
Yeah, it's, some corners good, some corners not so good, so I think in general there's improvements. But it's some corners I still struggle. Just trying to push and get those few more tenths out of it. I still don't feel I get like the reward, or I get the car kind of coming back to me the way I feel. But there were some places, I think like turn 1, 2, you can feel the car's kind of a bit better loaded and stuff. So there's certainly some positives, but some corners where I still scratch my head. So yeah, still a bit to find.
So not complete, but a happier space?
I think it's positive. It's positive. Yeah, we'll have a look back through the lap and see why I didn't get what I wanted in some of these places, but I think generally it's a step forward.
How's she going to be when she's full of fuel?
What was that, sorry?
How's she going to be when she's full of fuel?
Hopefully good. We get a couple freebies with Sainz and Magnussen, so I'll be 9th, and then Yuki, he's not good at starting, so I'll be 8th. Alonso's either great or bad, so I'll probably be 7th, and then we'll see from there.